What's up, YouTube? Welcome to this next video. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys how to build a Shopify store from A to Z. Exactly what I teach my new students right now to ensure that their Shopify store's foundation is fully ready to go so they can actually begin to make sales. We're going to get right into it. I don't want to waste any time. Let's get to it. So as you can see, Shopify.com, if you don't know what it is, it's literally the world's biggest e-commerce platform that you're going to use to make a shit ton of money right now in 2026 moving forward. So first things first, put your email right here. I'm going to copy and paste mine. It is pretty, don't mind the email, guys. I'm actually banned on Claude, but it doesn't matter. Let's continue. All right, so you're going to put your email here. After that, you're going to create your password for your store. Make sure the password isn't weak, and then you're going to hit the create account button. Here we are. You can save it if you want. Right here, guys, you're going to put your card information in and then subscribe for your $1 a month for 3 months. Alrighty, after that, you're going to get hit with these plans. Choose the basic plan. You guys don't really need anything above this right now. All right, upgrade your in-person sales. No, we're not going to do that. You guys aren't going to be doing any real in-person sales. All right, what can we help you do? Sell online, sell in store, drop shipping. Let's go. All right, so you should be dropped on the Shopify homepage from here. And this is what your dashboard looks like. Okay, so as soon as you land on Shopify, this is exactly what you should be met with, your Shopify homepage. Okay, when you actually begin to run ads, you're going to start seeing your actual store visitors and your sales and your sessions up here. But this will come after you actually set up all of Shopify. All right, so they're kind of pretty much going to tell you kind of what you should be doing: adding your store name, customizing your store, setting up your Shopify payments, reviewing your shipping rates. But we're going to go in the exact step-by-step sequence that actually makes sense. All right, you don't really want to just listen to Shopify right here. Okay, so first things first, store name. Okay, so for the purpose of this, we're just going to use high ticket ecom. We're just going to put a let's say. I mean, honestly, we're just going to do high ticket elites. Okay, let's do high ticket elites because y'all already know that's the education company. Now, let's go over this entire dashboard. Okay, so as soon as you land on the store, what can you see? Your homepage. You've got the orders right here. This is where your orders will actually live once you start to begin to make sales. You'll see the order number, the time the order was placed, the customer name, the order size. You'll be able to go into the order, see all of the order details. All right. Let's go over here to your drafts. A lot of people don't really know about drafts, but this is where you can create a draft invoice to send to your customer. And not only can you do that, but you can create a draft invoice, call up your customer, and have them give you that their credit card information so you can close that order and process that payment on your end over the phone like a professional. Okay, so this is actually what we use specifically in my e-commerce businesses, since what I've used since 2020. Draft orders to close customers for high ticket deals over the phone. All right, guys. Now let's continue. Shipping labels, you're not going to be really using any of this. And then the abandoned checkouts, this is where you're going to see your customers who decided to come on your store, add a button to the cart, and go to the checkout, but not complete the actual purchase. You'll see all their information here if they did put in the information, which will allow you to follow up, send them emails, send them phone calls, and close that deal. Okay, now here, products, this is where your products are going to live. Okay, when you actually begin to create your products, let's go to the add a product section. I'm going to show you guys exactly how this looks. Okay, title, you'll have the title of the product. All right, you'll have the description, you'll have the imagery of the product type. You do want to have the type and the vendor and the collection and tags fully completed for SEO purposes. All right, guys, you guys don't want to have an incomplete product page. Okay, everything that's here for you to fill out is there for a reason. It will help you rank better on Google. It will help your ads. It will help you better. It will help you overall make more money. Okay, so vendor right here for us, you guys know we're selling major US brands, so we'll have the brand name company right here. The collection will have the product in the specific brand collection. Maybe it's even a category type within a collection. And basically what I'm saying, you guys know, like, let's say for example saunas, right? You know, in saunas there are infrared saunas. That may be a type of sauna. You guys understand what I'm saying? And then continue, we have tags right here. Okay, now category, choose your product category. You want to make sure the product has a category. Your price, don't forget to actually fill in your cost per item. So whether your price, your product is $3,000, don't forget to come over here and put that your cost is actually $2,000. So Shopify can actually calculate these numbers for you as your store makes money and revenue, and you don't have to just do the accounting all from scratch. Okay, now inventory. All right, you guys can choose to track your inventory. For my suppliers, we don't really do inventory tracking. They're sending it up in different ways. We're doing that manually. All right, and then your SKU. You need a SKU for your product. I recommend you to have a SKU for your product. If you're in high ticket e-commerce, guys, suppliers will give you the SKUs. Okay, and they will give you the barcodes. This is an automatic for us. All right, so you don't have to worry. It's an automatic for the SKUs. Sometimes suppliers won't give you the barcode though. For you guys in high ticket, just all you have to do is ask them for it. Hey, do you guys have the UPC and GTIN codes for the products? Okay, and then of course the shipping. You guys can put the shipping information if your shipping varies per product here, but we'll be setting up the shipping in the backend settings. Okay, and now variants. Okay, if your product has a variant, this is where you're going to be able to come in and do that variant, right? So if your product is different colors, it has different sizes, you'll be able to put the color right here. That's the actual option, and then we got black, and then we got white, and then we got gray, green. You guys understand what I'm saying? You'll be able to put the option, and then what is the actual option. This will create your product variants. All right, so let's continue. Let's delete this, and then product meta fields. And we won't go too deep into that, I'll be completely honest. Search engine listing. This is very important. Make sure you guys' page title is maximum 70 characters. Make sure your meta description is maximum of 160 characters. And again, guys, we can utilize AI for this. If you don't know anything about search engine optimization, about your proper page titles, proper meta descriptions, use artificial intelligence. Okay, so this is exactly where you will be creating your product pages right here. Okay, now let's go into your collections. Okay, how do you create a collection, ASnj? So it's as simple as pressing the collection button. You guys all know what a collection looks like on an online store, right? Let's just freaking say like, let's say this is in electric, what do we got? No, let's just say it's the kayak collection, right? How do we get products into this collection? Well, we can either manually do it, takes time, or we can do it the smart way by just making it so any product with a specific tag, and you guys remember that tag section I showed you when we're making that product? Any product with the specific tag kayak will now be placed into this collection. It is as simple as that. Placing a product into a collection is creating the collection, creating the condition being a tag, and then ensuring the product that you created right here has this tag right here. That is how you will automatically import products into specific collections. All right, now inventory, if you're tracking inventory, you're going to be doing that here. Purchase orders, we don't really have those, so we don't really use this much. Transfers, we're not really using transfers at all in Shopify. Gift cards, we're not using gift cards, so you guys use this as you see fit in your very own business. Customers, this is where you get to see all of your customer information in one place. Okay, everything about them, guys, everything about your customers. This is where you're going to be able to segment your customers who have purchased at least one time, people who've subscribed to the email, people who've abandoned their checkout in 30 days. This is where you get to segment types of customers. Okay, then we've got companies over here, B2B. Okay, this is big in the high ticket e-commerce realm. All right, especially for you guys who are beginning to scale, you will get business to business contracts. Basically, businesses that have promised and agreed to come back and purchase from you solely as long as you give them a good deal and you give them that great customer service. Okay, now growth over here. Run your marketing on autopilot. We're not really using this. I'll be completely honest with you guys, okay? Attribution, we're not touching attribution in Shopify. And then campaigns, we're not running any campaign tracking through Shopify either, okay? Discounts, guys. This is where you make your store discounts. How do I give somebody 20% off, ASnj? Well, you can do a discount type once you press that create discount off of a specific product. You can do a discount if a customer buys this product and they'll get this, right? You can do a amount off of the entire order form of discount, or you can do free shipping, okay? What we can do is, let's just put amount off of order. Let's make the discount code 10 test, and the percentage is going to be 10% off. The eligibility, every single customer has a we can have no requirements here for the discount, or we can make it a minimum purchase amount, let's say for $3,000. That's kind of like standard. When you're doing high ticket e-commerce, you're trying to raise that average order value. So you're only giving discounts to customers who are spending a specific amount. Or if you just want them to purchase, one or maybe even two products. You understand? Low ticket people, they're typically discounting a little higher, like 25, 40%. High ticket, your maximum going to do 10%. Unless it's a 50% margin product, then you can go a little higher. Okay, so yeah. So let's see right here, 10% off. Combinations. I wouldn't recommend you do combinations. And then I don't recommend you limit as well. So when you create that discount, you'll see it'll just be active right here. Same thing when you create the product, the collection, you press that save, it'll just be active. Okay? Now, one thing I did miss actually when you guys are importing your products, okay? Just because it's done and you've pressed save doesn't mean that it's published to all the sales channels. Make sure If your product is not published to your online store, it will not show on your online store even though it's active. This is the same thing for your collection. If you're creating a collection and the collection has been fully saved, but it's not been published on the online store sales channel, you will not see it on your store. So if you're ever wondering why your products are not showing and it's active and it's good, is it actually published on the online store sales channel? That's the only thing you have to ask. Okay, so now let's move past discounts. We're going to go into content. Okay, meta objects, don't need to go over that. Files, this is where all your, basically every image, every form of content you upload onto this store will be housed here. Okay, and now menus, guys. Menus. Your store menu, okay? What is a menu, ASin? What's this? Let's go to BBQ, guys. All right, this right here. This is a menu right here, okay? This is where you will create your menu. This is where you will, what is it called? Edit your menu. This is where it all happens. Okay, so if your menu's bare, this is where it gets edited. Okay, well, ASin, how do they get the menu to have things under the menu, like this massive one right here? Well, you simply drag it under. You guys see what I did there? So instead of making it its own, you put it to the right. You drag it to the right, and it'll go under. And this is what creates the drop down on a main menu on any Shopify store, is when you place that menu item under here, okay? Now, for you guys, how a main menu typically will look is, might be shop now, and then it might be your categories, right? So let's say we're in the, I don't want to say we're in this, let's say we're in the water sports equipment niche, right? So let's say we're in the water sports equipment. Let's go to Gojlo Outdoors, okay? Now, once we load this, you're going to see if the storefront and the owner is at the level we think they are, their main menu is going to be great. We ended up opening another website. But as you can see here on this menu, what do you see? It's not just water ski, wake, wake surf. It's water ski, and then you see the drop down under here. Why do people have drop down menus with even further categorization? Because it grows your ranking on Google. It grows your ranking on every single search engine, okay? Because is someone going to have an easier time purchasing off of a store that says water ski on the main menu and it just opens up a bunch of water skis? Or is someone going to have a better time if they see the water ski and then they can go inside the menu and see the water ski types, packages, bindings, gloves, the accessories, absolutely everything readily available for them right here. Okay, so think of this when you guys are making your menus. Your menus are not supposed to be bare. They're supposed to be drop down and go into the categories of your product or your niche or your collections. Okay, keep this in your mind. Now, I'm not going to create an entire menu, but this is what it looks like. All right, wake, wake surf, life jackets, wakeful, tubes. Okay, so we can do this, right? Wake, and then you put the collection as the wake collection. And then you do surfboards, and then you put the collection as the surfboards collection, right? And then under here, it'll be, your types of surfboards, right? Like surfboard, I don't really know much about surfboard types, so I'm literally just going to write that down. Just going to put that here, right? Boom, and then we put it under the surfboards. You guys get where I'm going with this? You guys want to make your menus extremely navigational, not just for the bottom of funnel people who know exactly what they want, but for the people who are at the top of the funnel who may not know exactly what they want and they need a website to guide them based off of a specific price range, a color, the type. Hope you guys understand what I'm saying. So let's continue. I'm not going to harp too much on this. Let's discard this and let's move on to blog posts. ASin, do you build blog posts for your e-commerce store? Absolutely. We've been doing it for 6 years. All right. Me and my e-commerce community have never stopped using blog posts because it simply makes you money. Okay. Making a blog post is basically free nowadays with AI. And if you consistently do a blog post every single day for the next 6 to 12 months, and they are good SEO optimized blogs, you will get free traffic from these search engines. And that free traffic will be targeted and you will make organic sales. Okay, your store will make sales from you consistently writing blog posts that are highly informative, that will help your customers get from point A to point B. If you're able to do this consistently over time, guys, you will make a lot of money. Now, a prime example of this, I'm going to use this company again because they're one of my biggest competitors in this form of niche. They do about 600, 700 million a year. And as you can see, they have a massive entire library of articles and videos and content for their customers to consume. And this also allows them to make that $600 million a year that they make, 90 to 95% of that revenue is through organic traffic, meaning free traffic that they don't pay for due to all the content and the longevity and how long they've just been a business that's been really informing customers. Okay, so do not underestimate blogs in any way, shape, or form. It's a long-term play, okay? Now let's continue. Let's go to the markets. You guys should really only be selling in the U.S. market. Well, I'm sorry, high-ticket e-commerce for you guys who are learning from me. You guys are only going to be selling in U.S. markets unless you guys are learning from me in the EU or Dubai and your authorized dealer program has been proven in these specific countries, okay? Now, catalogs. I'm not necessarily using catalogs right here. Rollouts. You guys can use rollouts if it fits in your business. Let's see right here. Launching different products and designs. And now the finance. Completely up to you. We're not really using any form of Shopify finance. Okay, we're not. So I'm going to skip over this. Now, their analytics. This is where you see everything that's happening. Okay, this is where you see everything, guys. The gross sales that you've got, the returning customer rate, the order fulfill orders, all of your analytics that you need to see consistently is where you're going to. This is where it is. All right, guys. Now, when you guys are running your business day to day, you're really going to be looking at your gross sales, your total sales, returning customer rate, and your conversion rate breakdown. Okay, that's not to say that all this other stuff doesn't matter. All of it definitely does matter. But what you guys want to see is add to carts and checkouts and sales happening. And if there's not, that stuff's not happening. Sorry, guys. And if that stuff's not happening, there's a problem. All right, so analytics, this is where you're going to see all the analytics of your actual business once you begin to launch. This is where you get to see all the various different reports that you can pull from Shopify, and it is a lot, all right? And now let's go into your actual sales channels, okay? So you got your online store, you got your agentic, and your point of sale. You're not going to really use these two, okay? Now, your online store, this is where you guys are going to be actually able to edit your store. This is where the store is edited. This is where you customize your brand. This is where the magic gets done. And now, and of course, before you actually customize your store, you need a theme. Okay, right here you can see tons of free Shopify themes. Okay, right here, Shopify, I think, has an AI custom storefront builder that I have yet to test. But if I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, the theme that we use at High Ticket Elites is the eCom US theme purchased from Theme Forest. Okay, this is about an $89 theme that I've found. I've already made 7 figures in sales on this theme specifically, and it's only $90. And I've found it allows us to cover every single box that we need to check when we're selling products to customers that are worth thousands of dollars. Okay, so the eCom US, I'm literally not affiliated with these people. I don't have any code or anything. I'm just telling you from like the bottom of my heart, this theme is genuinely amazing, and it's all you need when you're trying to sell high ticket products. Okay, so eCom US, Ultimate, again, OS 3, and it should be by license, $88. Now let's come back over here to your edit theme. Let's actually go into the edit theme. Okay, this is your Shopify backend where you actually edit your store. Okay, now the first thing I'm going to introduce to you for your beginners is going to be the inspector. Shopify has imported an amazing tool because back then, without this inspector, when it's off, when you press stuff, it didn't take you to where you had to go over here on the left side to actually edit it. But now the inspector actually allows you, when you hover, it shows you exactly where you need to go to make changes to this specific element on your website. Literally brings you there now. I freaking wish this was here in 2020, guys. Oh my God. 2018, honestly. 2017. But again, let's continue to scroll down. Featured collections. If you want to change these products right here, you can go to the featured collection. You can see the collection that it's getting all of these products from. Of course, this collection has no actual products in it, hence why you see placeholders. But once you guys create those products, you import the products into the collection, and you choose that collection here, what's going to show? The products in the collections. All right. Of course, you have options to actually change the count of the products. You can see we just changed it from 8 to 4. It went from 8 to 4, right? You can change the columns. You can change the gap size, the width, the alignment. You can literally change everything about your Shopify store at any moment, at any point, at any day. Okay. Now, this is the home page. This drop-down box right here, guys, is very important for you guys to understand. So this is actually where you're going to be able to edit your product page templates, edit your collection templates, edit your cart, your checkout, create specific pages and templates for the specific page. Same thing with your blogs, blog posts, and everything else. Okay, now, Asen, what do you mean by template? What exactly does this mean? All right, so there's no product, so I'm going to go on ahead and make a product real quick so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. So we're going to come over here. We'll create a product, and we'll call it the test product. Okay, sorry, test product. Got this. Let's save it. Let's make sure it's active on the sales channel. It's good, so it should populate, and we should now be able to have a product that's defaulted on the actual template. So here we are. This is the regular product page template, completely unfinished, right? Obviously, right? This is not, I have no theme in here. When you have a theme, your theme will have a full product page template completed from scratch for you. But let's say you have a product that you want to run that's completely different from this one product, and you want the page to look completely different, okay? This is what's going to allow you to make product pages completely different and allow you to put this template on a specific product. A prime example, if I'm selling in the kayak niche, right, in the water sports equipment niche, and let's say this one brand for kayaks has a sale that all of my other brands do not. Or let's say I just found a winning product and I want to make the product page even better than the rest of the products on my store. I'm going to come over here, create a template for this specific winning product, base it on the default one, and then I'll come here and edit this template as I see fit. And then I'll come here to the actual product that I want this specific product page to be on, and I'll choose the template. Okay, so templates are how you can put custom pages, custom collections, and attach them to your specific product or your specific collection that you wish for this to be attached to. Okay, now I really hope you guys get this through your head. Rewatch this again if you need to. This is very important. Now, your cart, this is where you're going to be able to edit your cart. You're going to be able to add all these different sections, just like you can add all these different sections in your home page, in your product page, in your collections. You'll be able to add all these various things, okay? But again, this is not a design video. This is a Shopify overall video, so I'm not going to go into design. Now, same thing as your checkout. This is where you'll be able to edit your checkout, customize it as you see fit, the colors, literally absolutely everything. Okay, now let's go back to the actual storefront real quick so we can get to the home page. Let's make sure we're not missing anything for you guys. Pages, you can create your page templates right here, right? Blogs, you create blog templates right here. Blog post templates, you guys get the gist of it. Okay, this is where you will all of you. This is where you guys will customize and edit your Shopify store. Okay. Don't forget, it's going to be right here in your online store sales channel in this edit theme right here. Now, let's go to what's next, which is your pages. This is where you're going to be able to create these various different pages that you're seeing all these other online stores have. For example, all of these pages down here in the footer menu, right? We have the account page, create account, order status, my cart, gift cards policy, contact us, about us, the park, the shipping information, their returns information, and their responsibility code. Seems very bare, I'll be honest. But this is where you're going to be able to create these pages right here that every other online store has in the page section. Okay? Now, let's continue to your store preferences. This is where you can turn on and off the password for your store. You can have a password for your store. A lot of clothing brands do this, okay, to where they'll shut off their store, password protected only, until they drop like a new collection. Okay, this is where when you actually send your store name, like your URL to people, this is what's going to show them, like in the iPhone. Whenever you share it, this is social sharing image and SEO. This is how you customize how it is viewed when you share your store URL via text or via anywhere. Okay, now automatic redirection, spam protection, and then crawler access. Don't really need to go into deep into that. Okay, we're not going to be using agentic or point of sale at all. Now, apps. Yes, guys. You will install apps on your store. Asen, what are apps? Well, without apps, your store is pretty bare. Okay, because you can see right here, reviews. Yes, you will need an app to import reviews. Emails and text message marketing. Yes, you will need an app to have emails and text messages sent to your clients. I mean, to your potential customers and your actual customers, right? You will need feed for Google Shopping, right? Which is what's going to allow you to by some process, which is what's going to allow you to actually connect to Google, right? And have conversion tracking. Well, let's just do Google and YouTube app to make it much more simple. Google and YouTube app. Okay. Apps are what allow you and your business to get the elements and variables that do not come with Shopify. Shopify doesn't come with a live chat. Shopify doesn't come with emails and text. Well, actually, I think it does now, but I still opt into Klaviyo. Shopify doesn't come with highly professional invoicing. It doesn't come with Google Ads conversion tracking, Microsoft Ads conversion tracking, Facebook tracking. It doesn't come with heat maps. It doesn't come with all these various other elements that you will see highly profitable and scale stores have. Okay? All these other elements are coming from Shopify apps. All right, guys, they're coming from apps. Now, let's continue and go down here to the settings, guys. This is the other large back-end portion of your Shopify store. Okay, so just so you guys understand this again, all the way to your left side on the bottom corner, you're going to see your Shopify settings. Okay, now let's talk about your Shopify settings, guys. The first thing you're going to see is your store name, your current URL. Everyone's going to have a .myshopify until you've bought a domain. Okay, and then it'll be a .com, whatever you chose. Right, and this is where you're going to see the general information. Right, you got your business details, your store contact details. All right, these are, of course, editable. These are your defaults. Okay, your order ID format, your order processing information. The processing flow right here, store assets and resources. Okay, now you guys aren't really going to touch this until it's time to come in and update information. Make sure your store address is correct. Make sure your store contact details is always correct. You will make sure from top down, you will do an A to Z audit before you launch your store and make sure everything on the back end is correct. Everything. Okay, now your plan. This is where you can see your Shopify plan right here. Nothing really much to see. It's just your plan. Your billing information, this is where you have the card on file, the users who actually has access to this store, the roles of that you have in your store, and you can add and create custom ones. This is so you can get people not as users on your store, but as collaborators, so they don't take up a user slot and cause you to have to upgrade. So that people can become collaborators with your store, and you can accept them as long as you give them this code. Okay? Now, payments. ASin, how do I get payouts from my store? How do I get paid when someone purchases a product on my store? How does the money get to the bank? Right here, guys. Shopify payments. Very simple, very smooth. Literally, you'll get approved within 24 hours if you're clean, if you're good to go. You guys should all have no issue. Shopify payments will ask you for your personal information, your business information, your bank account information, which is how they get the bank account info to send the deposits and the payouts to. And they'll verify all the information you give them over 24 hours. And then once complete, you will see Shopify payments has now been activated. And you'll see your bank account on file. And this is how you get payouts to your bank from e-commerce, okay, from using Shopify. They will send you the money to your bank using Shopify payments. This is your payment processor, okay? Now, you guys can choose additional payment providers outside of Shopify right here. Okay, it's just a little more complicated for that. Right now, payment capture method. All right, you guys do want to do manual if you're doing high ticket e-commerce, okay, because sometimes our brands might not have the product in stock. And if you do it as automatic, then that means Shopify will capture that entire $3,000 payment and they'll take their $100 processing fee. Even if you need to cancel it, you're still going to be out of that $100 processing fee. That's why we do manual, so that we can confirm the product is in stock. Then be able to cancel the order without taking a processing fee hit, because we didn't capture it, it was just authorized. And if the product is in stock, then you can just capture it manually. But for all you other people, it'd probably make the most sense for you to just capture your products automatically at checkout if you're doing like low ticket and you know this product has like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of inventory, right? Your suppliers, okay? So we do manual though, okay? Payment method customizations. We've got, I think these are just, gift card expiration, Apple Wallet. We can hover over that. Now your checkout, this is where you can get, you can configure your checkout. All right, guys, customer information, marketing opt-in, SMS, you want to show that shit, guys. You want to make sure checkout is there. Okay, tipping, abandoned checkout emails. We use Klaviyo. Tipping, I don't really recommend you have tipping on. And then address collection, definitely want to. Okay, and then add to cart limit. Limit is 50. Yeah, you want to make sure people aren't spamming. Okay, now customer accounts. This allows you to actually make sure your customers can create accounts back here. All right, shipping and delivery. This is important. All right, this is where we will create our shipping for our backend. As you can see right here, this store has one general shipping profile for all of the products in our one location, which is the US, in the 2 different zones. So let's see the zones. So we have an international zone and a domestic. For us, it's only going to be domestic, United States. Are we going to call it this? No. We're going to edit this. Okay. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to do this from scratch. Okay. So as you can see, we have no shipping zone. Without a shipping zone, you will have no shipping options at checkout. Okay. So the first things first, we're going to do zone name. Customers don't see this. So let's just put United States. United States. Right? United States as a shipping zone, press the done button. Okay, now once you do the zone, the option will appear. The option, fast and free shipping. Okay, the rate is $0. Transit time 2 to 7 business days. Fast and free shipping, boom. And it will show you the example. Okay, there's an offer free shipping button here, and you can do same exact thing actually, 99 bucks. Right? So I don't even have to do this. Let's see what it looks like even without any of this. Right? Price can't be. Here we are. Boom, boom. Well, to set a minimum order amount. Okay, understood. My apologies. We're just going to leave it like this. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. Okay, whether you have this or not, the price is going to be $0. It'll be free anyways, whether you check this off or not. But this is what it's going to look like. Okay, I do fast and free shipping, 2 to 7 business days. There are some drop shippers who will they'll charge like $6, $9 shipping below $99 an order. You can do that as well, right? You say flat rate shipping. Flat rate shipping, right? And then you can do something like $9.95, right? And the transit time, 2 to 7 business days, 2 to 7 business days. And then we've got, what is it? Order amount, I'm sorry. Order amount, minimum of 99 bucks, no max, and it's at $9.95. So I'm sorry, maximum of 0, minimum of 0, maximum of 99. Meaning, if a customer places an order in between basically 0 to 100 bucks, they're getting charged $10 in shipping. That transit time is 2 to 7 days. Boom. So you got 2 different types of shipping. You got free shipping for the higher $100 and above orders, and then you got the flat rate shipping for orders that are below $100 at about $10 in the cost. Okay. The customers will now see these 2 options at checkout. Okay. Regardless of what country you're in, regardless of how you're doing this, this is how you're going to set up your shipping rates for your customers. Okay, guys. And you can do it by zone. All right, so boom, that is how you set up shipping. Okay, now let's go back over here. Packages, shipping labels, carrier accounts. We're not really necessarily using any of this besides carrier accounts, right, for higher ticket. Okay, and then your documents, sender name, templates, delivery customizations, and custom order fulfillment. Okay, taxes and duties. I'm not a tax professional. I'm not really going to hover on this. Just make sure it's active because Shopify will automatically calculate the tax that they need to charge for you. Okay, to customers. Now, your locations are going to be right here. Your apps that you have installed will be right here. The sales channels that you actually have on your store will be right here. You got the online store. You'll have Google and YouTube. You'll have Facebook and Meta, Microsoft, etc., etc. Your domains. This is where you can purchase a domain if you choose not to purchase a domain off of a third-party provider like GoDaddy.com. I know the name is a little funny. I got over it like 8 years ago. But yes, here we are. Domains. You can purchase it here from Shopify itself, which is really, really, really smooth, right? And of course, it's not available. I know that, right? Or you can do it off of a third party and then have it automatically import into here because Shopify is connected to these third-party sites, these big domain providers like GoDaddy. All right, so boom, once you buy your domain, you make it your primary, and instead of being a .myshopify.com, you will now have a real actual store with a .com domain. All right. Now, let's continue. Let's move past this. Customer events. This is where you can manage your pixels, Facebook pixel in specific, Meta. Notifications. This is where you can get This is where you can your email, your store, the email your store uses to send and receive emails from your customers. This is where you can change this. Okay. Meta fields and objects. This is where you can change your meta fields and your objects. Won't go too deep into that one. Your current languages, customer privacy, and your policies. Okay. They will allow you to use their templates. Are these templates a one-size-fit-all? Absolutely not. Please make sure that you're using the refund policy that fits for your industry. Every industry is different. Every niche is different. Everyone will have a different form of template outside of this terms of service template. This one right here, guys, is pretty pretty universal, I'll be honest. Make sure you go through it yourself and take out what doesn't apply to your business, because there will be parts of this policy that don't apply. But this one is relatively universal, that terms of service one. Then shipping policy, again, guys, they don't even have a template here. Okay, so you got to figure out what your shipping policy is right here. All right, varies per industry. And then contact information, you can have a template right here. Boom. And then what else have we got? Legal notice. Okay. And then my store admin, you can press it down here to open up your Shopify account profile. Okay. So boom. So this was my Shopify A to Z tutorial for you. We got straight to the point. We went over everything that you guys need to know and understand when you're starting your first Shopify store. And again, as you guys can see, there's a little bit to it, but this kind of becomes muscle memory as you go through this, as the days, the weeks, and the months pass by. Okay, guys? Again, Shopify is the #1 e-commerce platform. It's the platform that I've been using personally for over about 9 years now. It's a platform that's allowed me to make multiple millions of dollars in physical high-ticket product sales online. It's the only platform that I recommend anyone who's trying to get into e-commerce or build an e-commerce business and scale it. You need to be using Shopify. And now, one last thing that I want to mention to you before you leave this video is that Shopify is just your foundation. Okay? This still doesn't completely erase the fact that you need to understand how to find winning products. You need to understand how to lock in great supplier agreements with amazing suppliers who want long-term win-win relationships with you. You need to understand high-level branding and how to actually design a store that converts customers, specifically high-paying customers, which is our situation. You need to learn how to run ads on Google, hopefully Google for you, Meta, Facebook, TikTok, whatever it may be, whatever your direction that you're going. You're going to need to learn marketing. You're going to need to learn customer service, right? How to treat these customers correctly. And then you're going to need to learn remarketing, how to actually bring back the potential customers who didn't actually make these purchases in your business. But Shopify is the heart. It's the core of it all, guys. Okay. Without Shopify, the rest is kind of not possible. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If I taught you something, please shoot me a like, shoot me a subscribe. If you have any comments or any questions that you have about this video, if you have any suggestions about the next video, feel more than free to shoot them below. If you want real e-commerce coaching, if you want to learn how I was able to take myself from 0 to 7 figures as an Army soldier, from 0 to multiple 7 figures now, how I've taken complete beginners just like you from 0 to 4-figure days, 0 to multiple 5-figure days, 0 to multiple 6-figure months, multiple 7-figure years, selling expensive high-end brand name products with Shopify. All you've got to do is hit the link below, watch that free training. If it makes sense for you, if you're a good fit, just answer the questions that we have there. I'll see them. If you're a great fit, we'll get you launched, all right? But other than that, if you're not yet serious about this, just watch some more of my content. You'll see the potential that e-commerce and this model as a whole can actually bring to you in your life, and truly how it can impact and help you change your very life. All right, guys? But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching this video. This was my Shopify tutorial, and I'll see you guys in the next one.